Before everything starts to look like an SUV, you could still buy a wagon-shaped car in the Subaru Outback. And this is the 2025 Subaru Outback. This is the Touring XT model, which means that this has the upgraded turbo engine. So it has the 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder, making 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. You can still get the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, and that makes about 182 horsepower. And they're both attached to a CVT, and it has Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive. So drivetrain-wise, the new 7th generation Subaru Outback is going to be about the same as the 6th generation Subaru Outback. But you do lose out on that wagon shape, which I just love. And the 6th generation has been around for a little bit, and this one has a pretty incredible 9.5 inches of ground clearance, which is a little bit more than some Toyota 4Runners. And this looks distinctively Subaru with the black cladding everywhere. They just like using that stuff. And all of these Subaru Outbacks come with these integrated fog lights, and you can see more black cladding on the over fenders, on the rocker panels, and also the rear bumper. And I really like these integrated crossbars. This is rated at 150 pounds when you're under motion, but when you're static, like sleeping in a rooftop tent, this can support a lot more. And once you're done, you don't want to travel in this configuration because this is going to generate a lot of noise, and it also reduces your miles per gallon. You could just lift this up and then stow it to the other side, and then do the same over here. And there are rubber pads underneath these things, and it goes into the corresponding holes. Make sure it latches back, and just like that, your crossbars have become integrated roof rails. So I'm hoping the 7th generation Subaru Outback is going to have those same features. Let's take a look at inside, because that's where the new Outback is going to make some pretty significant improvements. This being the Touring XT model, you do get the upgraded Nappa leather interior, but the rest of the design is basically what you see across the other trims. And I love the steering wheel for the Subaru Outbacks because there's a lot of physical buttons on here. I love how the heated steering wheel button is integrated onto the steering wheel itself. There's also paddle shifters for the CVT. Straight ahead, you get the analog gauges and also a smaller digital screen. So that is a look that's starting to get outdated. And also you see this 11.6-inch vertical oriented touchscreen. And this is starting to look pretty dated too. Even the user interface, it looks like an iPhone 3G user interface. And the way it behaves, it's also a little laggy. But it does come with wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. And because this is the Touring XT model, you also get features like the ventilated seats and the heated seats, and up top you have the digital rearview mirror. And maybe the biggest sign of the times is that this thing still comes with a CD player, which, you know, if you're an audiophile, you could get the best results out of a CD player rather than streaming. But this is just one of those pieces of tech that's going away. And also, this is a little extra if you like to amuse your kids. This is a magic trick that you could do. First, you don't see a CD player, and then another second, you see a CD player. And to take advantage of the CD player, you also have some really nice speakers in this car. One of the best parts of the Subaru Outback is the amount of rear legroom in here. You get 39.7 inches of second row legroom. That's very generous, and you also get heated outboard seats. And perhaps my favorite part of a wagon is the amount of space behind the second row. You get 32.6 cubic feet of space behind the second row. Unfortunately, there's no spare in this one. And once you lower the second row seats, you get 72.6 cubic feet of space behind the first row. As for the driving experience, I thought that the turbo engine was pretty peppy. It's not the quickest thing in the world, but it will give you out of a jam if you need it. Makes 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque, and this car can tow up to 3,500 pounds. As for handling, I thought this felt pretty fantastic. I love the steering, and the transmission was pretty good too, even though a lot of people don't like the CVT and how it behaves. I thought this felt like a more traditional automatic transmission. The ride quality is pretty good too. It's fairly quiet, doesn't produce a lot of wind noise. Of course, it's going to produce more wind noise if you have those crossbars installed, but I love the visibility of this car. There's a lot of glass. You have a pretty good seating position. So this already feels like an SUV, but it still retains that nicer looking wagon shape in my opinion. Which also makes me wonder, if I were to overland this thing, let me ask you guys that, if you were overlanding, maybe for the first time ever, would you rather have a Subaru Outback, which returns about 25 miles per gallon? It doesn't have a 2-speed transfer case that you can find on some off-roaders. Or would you rather have a Toyota 4Runner, which has a part-time 4-wheel drive system? It has a low and high speed transfer case. And depending on the trim that you get, you might even get some lockers and also a disconnecting sway bar. So what would be the better option in your opinion? A more economical less off-road featured car like the Subaru Outback, or a more full-featured, less efficient car that you could find in a Toyota 4Runner. Price-wise, you can get something like this for under $45,000 after delivery. I know that's a steep price, but everything else is pretty much very expensive nowadays. And this one's a pretty full-featured car, and you get lots of technology inside. And I'm pretty impressed with the 2025 Subaru Outback, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the 7th generation Subaru Outback is going to be. Now, I want to thank you so much for watching all the way up to this point. If you want to see my review of the Subaru Crosstrek, check this link over here. But my name is Hanson, and that's the 2025 6th generation Subaru Outback, and I'll see you in the next one.